Okay, I should be live. My glasses are fogged up. I'm looking down weird, and my bike's dirty. I need to wash it. I'm looking down weird, that's why. Should be on all messages. There we go. I also got a windscreen. It's kind of a little too small, but I put it on the filter thing to do what it's got to do. Hopefully that helps. I'm riding into the big city today. Thought I'd take you along with me, see how y'all are doing. I should be getting to the doctor about the time my other friends start their chat, so we'll see how that goes. It's about this time I wonder, did I bring my wallet? I don't know. I'm not carrying a purse, so yeah. Don't carry one very often. Usually like sits in whatever vehicle that I'm in. All my shit's in there, you know? That sort of thing. But it's the construction that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. They started building it and building just because, and they will keep on building it forever just because. I know you can feel me on that. I tend to live near where they're just doing their thing, and it's just like the construction. They just got through rebuilding the road, and now they're doing it again and again. It's like I-10 has been under construction my entire life. There has been no point in time in 47 years that I-10 has not been under construction. I remember when the railroad tracks used to go parallel to I-10, and my grandmother, she worked at Battlestein's at one mall. She actually worked with Arden. She was their top salesperson. And she made more than her bosses, and her bosses didn't like that because most of her pay came from Elizabeth Arden. And then she ended up going to Foley's and moving, and she made pretty good money because she had a clientele of like over 40 years that came back to her, you know? And it's kind of important in that business. I don't know what got me off on that. But, oh yeah. Me and my grandfather would go down there to pick my grandmother up, and I used to love watching for the caboose at the end of the train. And I got so mad when they got rid of the caboose and they started putting that light on it in the 80s. You know, I think that was the 80s. Yeah. And it's like, we need the caboose. I like the caboose. And there's no caboose. Who all's out there? Let's see. Buck Brown, Moto Bomb. How are y'all doing? I need to go down, not up. There we go. Into the dust we go. They got a street sweeper going. This is where a lot of accidents happen, right through here. Not because of a street sweeper, but because there's a pretty good Mexican restaurant up here. And I mean, I like the one down the road better, I guess because I know them and I know where they came from, the other one. But that Mexican restaurant right there, Los Compadres, they're actually really good. And if you ever try them out, you're in Huffman, Texas. Their chicken tortilla soup is amazing. Their fajitas are amazing too. You're not going to get bad fajitas down here. Bad fajitas, that might actually still be a hanging offense, I don't know. Taco trucks down here have better food than restaurants up north. And that is no joke. Oh, gas stations have better food. I've tried your Mexican restaurants. They're no good. Now, I'm sure if you go to New York and you got like a Puerto Rican neighborhood kind of thing, and they got Puerto Rican food or Salvadorian or what have you, and which is the one with the, what do they call them? Pupusas. You know, they're like little corn patties filled with stuff. You know, I'm sure you can get decent food. We're talking Mexican, more specifically Tex-Mex. You know. So how's my audio coming through? Y'all can let me know. I got this little tiny windscreen put over. I need a bigger windscreen. I will be even more broke. Lovely. Actually, I don't know. I'm not supposed to have to pay anything for a PCP visit, but I got this weird letter, and I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going on right now. We're all just waiting for all the shoes to drop. There's a few clogs in there that we haven't heard yet, and we don't know. I was watching something on the internet. Just reality. Like Pornhub is Canadian. Imagine if they shut that off in retaliation. I mean, whether you're for or against the tariffs or anything, that doesn't really matter at this point. They're going to do what they're going to do. Yeah, they're taking American whiskey off the shelves and all that, and okay, whatever. And, you know, the whiskey companies are on Trump's ass and like, hey, this is really, really going to hurt. And, but Pornhub is Canadian. Imagine if they turned that off. There'd be a collective explosion. Hey, there's a reason that like the vast majority of the internet, that's basically what it is. You know, human nature. Although they got to do a better job at keeping that away from kids. And I think that's the real problem, why we've got like the laws and stuff in Texas the way we do now, which don't do any good, by the way. You know, look, I need a 7th gear. I don't have a 7th gear. I've complained to Harley Davidson, but to no avail. Hell, make it suicide shift. Give me a 13 speed. I'll float the gears on a Harley. I don't care. I just need more gears. I'm used to shifting gears all freaking day. But no, kids have seen things that we didn't even know existed until well into our adulthoods, and they're like 9. That's gotta mess with their heads in not a good way, you know. So maybe that would actually do us a favor. Yeah, you can go back and looking at the Sears. Well, there's no more Sears catalog, so I guess you're kind of screwed. So, but if y'all can hear me, let me know. But I just hooked everything back out on my helmet, and I need kind of a mic check. You know? I got like 2 comments on there, and that's about it. Well, 3. Hard to read. Hopefully it's good. Life is just chaos. We try to organize it, but it doesn't get very organized. Because it's one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. Yeah, I got Buck Brown, who is friggin' awesome, and I got Moto Mom, who is also awesome. Both of y'all on there. It might not be opening. I don't know. No, there's always a problem. There's always something. There's always some objective you've got to do. You know? Life is like this endless series of goals you set. And I don't know about you, but I have to have a goal. I have a job. I have a task. I have a mission. This is my mission. This is my goal. This is what I'm doing. And I work towards that goal. You know? That is what I do. I don't know how the signal's doing either, so if I got a signal update, that would be awesome too. Why is this on top messages? I specifically changed it. Here's what it does. I don't know. Chat filter. Oh, the messages. There we go. That way if they come up there, I can see them. I have to have a goal. Something to work towards, something to do. It's like that motivation in life sort of thing. Am I taking the wrong road? I think I am. Oh well, I'll correct that. That will happen shortly. I don't know. I can turn by the Walmart and get on the road that I want. And that might actually be better. I do not know. I really do not know. But I haven't been on the bike really this week. Not that much. Parking where I'm going sucks. It just does. That's what the parking does there. It sucks. And it's a lot easier on a bike. As long as your bike doesn't get stolen, you're good. So, this is a Harley Davidson. It's not that hard to steal. Doesn't really matter what you do to it. All you need is your fat friend. You know, I mean, remember what you were able to do when you're like 14, 15 years old, putting motorcycles and three-wheelers and stuff in the bed of a pickup or what have you. You and your friend grabbing a hold of it, get the front end up, pop it in. This is a motorcycle. Yes, I know it's 700 pounds. But you're not lifting 700 pounds. You know what I mean? Somebody really wants it. They got a van like right over there. They got a pickup. They got anything like that. It'll be there like in an instant. Maybe I'll go this way. I don't know. I ain't been this way in a while. Lane ends. Merge right. Well, I don't think I have a choice. I gotta merge right. Let me see. I got another comment on there. Awesome. I think it says, "What's up? Where are you?" I can't read the name at the moment. This right here is Humble, Texas. We just went through Atascocita, and I'm heading into the big metropolis of Houston. So you wonder what driving in Houston is like. Have you seen Mad Max? Yeah. My doctor's down by the neighborhood anyway, so it depending on what time of day you go down there, it could really look like Mad Max, depending on what club you're near or what's going on. I had a friend that used to live down there. She's always doing a dealer. We were no longer friends after a while because I'm like, yeah, no. Okay, let's see what this says. So I can't see. Kaylee Famboro. What's up? How am I? So far, I'm good. I haven't made it to the doctor's yet. Hopefully, I'll make it soon. I was supposed to get an x-ray today too, but I'm not going to get that done. Like, okay, we already know I have asthma. We already know I have COPD. Why do I need the x-ray? Are we looking for cancer? Like, no, we just want it. Okay, I got shit to do. So, we're not doing that. That can bring me to a topic of the American healthcare system, which has been jointly screwed by both sides. You know, you could get better insurance. You can't move to fix it. You can't move to fix it. I can't see. I fogged my glasses up. There we go. Sorry for the spinning wheel of death. But, every American city area always had for years. They have something like, red card, gold card. You don't have any money. You got an ear infection. You need to go to the doctor. Okay, and you got like these discount rates. It's like county health plan kind of thing, or state or whatever. And then you'd pay the doctor, but after the doctor, it's like you went because you had an ear infection. You know you had an ear infection. You needed antibiotics. And then after you paid the doctor because you were making minimum wage, and I think my first minimum wage job paid like $3.70 something an hour. It wasn't $4 an hour yet. And now you can't afford the medication that you went to the doctor for. And so we have a health care plan that it does the same thing. This traffic does not look good. I do not know what's going on. We may take an alternate route. I do not know. So it's like, what you end up being able to do is you end up being able to be seen by a doctor. Like, if you don't have the money to pay for stuff. Okay. But you don't have the money to do anything else. So your uncle lives with that hernia for years and what have you. And I'm not complaining about that. That's understood. But then you have somebody who could be working for a living but can't afford the health care, and the only way they could get it is to basically give everything up and live off the government. Then you can get health care. You have to give up everything you worked for in life, and you can get health care. And that makes no sense. I mean, granted, they can't turn you away. Remember that in like the 80s, maybe into the 90s, where there was that deal where people were dying because, like, the helicopter, would be like they don't have insurance, and they're trying to figure out what hospital to take them to, and they had to make a law that they had to treat you. But now that's the other end of it, is the are they in network? So they're not dying from that now. It's kind of like that was at the same time where they were having the stop or I'll shoot debate, and people were up in arms because people were getting shot because they ran from the cops. And now when they run, they don't necessarily get shot anymore. Okay. But, age-old issues. But now, alright, they have to save your life. You're in a car wreck, something happens. I get in a wreck on this bike, something happens, they have to save your life. Okay. But that hospital wasn't in network. So now you have these outrageous bills for stuff that shouldn't be outrageous priced, and it's intentionally done that way to game the insurance companies. They have different prices. It's like if you go get a prescription and you tell them you don't have any insurance, they have one price list for that. If you tell them you have insurance, they have a much higher price list for that. It should not be that way. Maybe this Doge organization can look into that and fix that problem. Hey, maybe an EpiPen shouldn't cost that much money when it doesn't cost that much to make. stuff like that. I'm supposed to have an EpiPen. I don't carry one. If I get stung, I die. So I get stung in the chest or something. And what do you do when you have major medical problems? Like you get cancer or something, you get older. Because there's a lot of stuff happening right now where, okay, like your parents pass away, stuff that my generation's dealing with. I'm obviously Gen X, you know, latchkey kid, that sort of thing. And you're getting handed the debt pretty much because it costs so much money late in life and all the medical bills and everything. They got the reverse mortgages and all that, which is one of the things that's kind of killing the middle class. One of the things that built it is you had that greatest generation, like my Uncle Abe, well, all of my grandfather's brothers. Abe was on Evo. His cousins were on like Corregidor and other places. You know, they got that industry moving and all that stuff, but they had a bunch of stuff that they built up and they left to that baby boomer generation. Well, now that baby boomer generation is reaching their twilight years, and not as much stuff is being left behind, and a lot of it is, you know, like my grandparents, luckily he didn't leave any debt, but it took everything they had paying for my grandmother's health care. And when she passed away, there wasn't a lot left, and my grandfather wasn't that many years behind her. And when he died, everyone's like looking for, like, where's the money? What did they leave? And he had like 400, you know, the man was, I think, 72 years old, and he had like $400 in a bank account, living in an apartment with a car that wasn't paid off, you know. Or when my father-in-law passed away, a little more current, we've already got a mortgage on a house. We couldn't afford to pay for 2 houses. You know, you end up selling the thing at a loss to what ends up being a company, because these companies are going around buying all these houses up and making rent houses, stuff like that out of them. And rocks and all that, houses and all that shit. So they're taking the houses away from the people, and the living and the rent and everything else up so high that, you know, who would have thought you could make 6 figures and struggle, which is where a lot of my generation is at. You know, you're making a really life, and you're the cost of living, the left and the right and any of that kind of stuff. I got a cramp in my hip that hurts. The bad thing about having mids on this bike and being over 6 foot, money, you know, way more than we were happy when minimum wage hit $5 an hour, and we're like, oh my, you know, most of us started out with jobs, we weren't making $20,000 a year, and we had some piece of shit car, had to be worked on every day, and like, we worked, you know. The greatest generation people talked about the boomers the way my generation talks about millennials. I think they were right, but it's just this weird situation, and they try to make things look not as bad as they are, and in a way they're not, because I mean, okay, I got things. I'm sitting on a Harley Davidson. I'm struggling, but I'm sitting on a Harley Davidson. So you get the juxtaposition there, you know. But then again, part of that is the American lifestyle of the things that we need. we grew up in a time we didn't have internet. That wasn't a thing. Most people didn't have cable. It's like for people that lived in apartments or somebody that had a big satellite dish out in the front yard, looked like a UFO. You know, you had your ABC, NBC, CBS. You had your, that is a big rut. You had your PBS and let me start that over. Yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS. You'd have something like Fox or UPN. There were like 2 stations up on the upper dial. You had your UHF and your VHF. You had a big antenna outside, and sometimes you had to turn the thing a little bit to get the station to come in. Computer. For some of you, it took up a whole room. For some of us, it was, they had the Apple computer in the library at school. Come on. Let me in. There we go. Right in my mouth. Really, computers, unless you had a job that you had to deal with computers, weren't really a thing, especially if you had a blue-collar life, you know? I grew up doing farm work. You know, I've always been around diesel motors and stuff like that. I drive a truck for a living now. My training is to be a mechanic. So, I mean, why are we struggling? Why does healthcare cost so much? Why are we, I mean, unnecessarily so much? I'm not paid. That's spending so much of our money, you know? For the most part, it's not your care physician that's taking all your money. Not even the specialist. It's that you haven't paid the $6,000 deductible or $8,000 or $12,000. The cheaper your insurance gets, usually the higher your deductible is. That's what gear am I on? I'm in 6. Okay, I can actually move. Hold on. Okay. So how do we find ourselves in this situation? I don't know. The healthcare system we have was initially designed by the Heritage Foundation back in the 90s for Bob Dole. It was used by Mitt Romney. Obama's like, hey, that's a good blueprint. He uses it. It makes insurance companies a lot of money. Doesn't make us a lot. You know, it doesn't save us a lot. Doesn't really improve our health care. But they get to say that, oh, everyone can get insurance. Well, it doesn't do you any good. It's like everyone can have a car, but we're not going to give you gas. It's not going to do you much good, is it? Do my head checks. Then you have to deal with the bureaucracy and the clusterfucks of all the other organizations. Like, you got to deal with the VA. And I think that depends on where you live as to whether you have a good experience or a bad experience. Because some of them are better than others. And also, if you're dealing with like, you know, go like the Indian Hospital in Oklahoma, which kind of a similar experience, to tell you the truth. But everyone's just, you know, it's like, hey, this hurts, can you help me? And then in the end, you lose everything and you have nothing to leave your family. I don't think it should be that way. I mean, when we're paying all this money. If they're going through and they're cutting out all this waste, you know, maybe they could apply some of that to helping people, like healthcare, or maybe they can go through and end the, because it should be criminal what they do with the prices. Every day they're calling you, trying to get you to pay this bill that they constantly keep lowering, because you're like, I can't pay that, you know. And they write it off. The hospitals do. But there are situations that'll hurt you. And in most situations, the medical debt doesn't hurt you, but in a lot it does. But then you get into, like, you need cancer treatment or something like that. Now is where you're spending all your money, because insurance either isn't paying it or the cost of it is just so high, you know. Isn't there somewhere like in between we can go? And I know they want to scare people with death panels and all that and socialism and everything else, but look at all the socialist programs that were protested so highly against, that we live off of. You know, not even talking abuse, I'm talking the programs that we pay into and we collect the benefits on that the government's trying to take away, but they're not going to give you your money back, you know, like Social Security. No, but can't there be like a medium in there, you know? Like, where you can actually get health care. Like, have somebody come through and, like, stop all the price gouging. Stop. If they were doing to the stock market, you know, or most other forms of business, what they do to the cost of your prescriptions and your medical care, they would be in jail. I can't remember the name of the crime, but I believe that's a crime in just about any other field. You know, everything's so polarized that nobody can come to a conclusion, you know? Nobody can have a debate on this subject. Because the one side, you know, looks at the other side like they're heartless. And the other side looks at them and like, we're not paying for your shit, you know, and until they get sick and they can't afford the care that they need to save their life, and they get led towards hospice, which is usually what happens. And the hospice nurses, you know, with a wink and a smile that if you take all of these, you know, or they just give grandma a lethal dose of morphine. Yeah, euthanasia happens every single day in this country. There's no debate about it. You know, they freaked out about Dr. Death, but, you know, when they're sitting there and they're telling you that, well, grandma's brain's been deprived of oxygen for this long, if she comes back, she's not going to be the same person, or she could go out really happy because we're going to give her all this morphine. That's a hard decision to make. Yeah. I think that should be allowed too. And I think if you're in that much pain, you should be allowed to do something about it, you know. There's pain that's just not going to go away. There's horrible ways to die that you can do something about. But then again, you shouldn't have, like, the government suggesting, well, you're depressed, we've got an out for you, you know. How about you save the country money and take care of that problem? Yeah, that shouldn't exist either. Through this, we understand, help them out in their time of need. Why can't we do that while at the same time not suggest someone take a permanent solution for a temporary problem, because it'll save money. Is there any common sense anymore? Yeah. So I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I'm going to a doctor's appointment, so I'm thinking about healthcare. And I'm not going to be early. They want you to show up like 30, 40 minutes early. I'm like, no. I'll be there 5 minutes early. Actually, probably. Either that or I'll be 5 minutes late. Because I had to fix the washing machine this morning and the plumbing. It's like the bathtub's not draining. Good Lord. Okay. The thing fell off the dishwasher. It's one of them little wheels fell off the rack, so the rack fell down. And I had to fix that. I'm trying to get ready. We never get ready at the same time. Ever. So it just throws everything into chaos. Because I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I get ready. And I leave. And then she gets up at like 5. And she gets ready and she leaves. So then it's like our schedules conflict because we were leaving around the same time. It's chaos. Life is chaos. It's always a problem. Trying to get ahead, trying to do something. I'm trying to get a paycheck ahead and my car breaks, my bike breaks. I need a tire. I need this. I need dentures or something. I don't know. Why can't we get 3 sets of teeth? I mean, if they're going to do all this genetic engineering and shit like that, and it's like, can't we get it like adult teeth and the ones we have now be like adolescent? Because then you get your baby teeth, then you get like adolescent teeth, and they last you through your 20s and 30s. And then when you get to your 40s, you know, where the reality of teeth and costs and all that really hits you, you can get a whole new set of teeth. I mean, you're gonna lose teeth anyways, but now you can look cute again like you did when you were like 6 or 7 years old, you know, and you knew there was a new tooth coming in, so everybody thought it was cute. Now it's just like, oh shit. If they're gonna do all that, why not like figure out a way that, you know, we could get another set of teeth just grown in. I promise I'll take care of them this time. You know? Got like one person watching. I get on a rant and no one wants to listen. Lovely. Lovely rant. I mean, if we can fund the study for like, what was it, some weird shit in Dubai or Malaysia or wherever, you know, can't we like fund an insulin pump for grandma? That's a much better use of tax dollars. I mean, cut out all this waste and stuff and all this bullshit. I don't care about the mating habits of an endangered ground squirrel. It's a retarded squirrel. It can't climb a tree. It's natural selection. You know? And yes, I know, they find weird stuff looking for things. But the reason that we're making so much money and we have so little is number one, inflation. And then number two, how much we're taxed on literally every single thing. You know? You're taxed when you make the money, you're taxed when you spend the money, you're taxed when you move the money, you're taxed when you breathe, you know? You just can't, and if you have a business, you're taxed more than once when you make the money, you know? everyone talks about Elon Musk like, oh, he doesn't pay his fair share in taxes. That man holds the record for the most taxes paid by an individual in America ever. He paid more than anybody has ever paid. But it's not enough. You know? The problem isn't that we're not being taxed enough. The problem is, like most of our households, it's money management. You know? I don't know what this is. That's a bill collector, probably. I need to get over. I need to do my head checks. I want to go like something that can save a writer's life, because this is Texas and we have a specific congressman who decided that he liked dead bikers. Well, that's probably not it. He's probably just ignorant like most people, and they see the bike filtering up through the front of traffic and they're like, you're cheating, and not realizing that the most dangerous place I can be is where I'm at right now. Actually, even worse is at a traffic light behind a car. You know, that, and I've got an air-cooled engine that I'm not wanting to overheat, you know. So there's that. But getting hit from behind and crushed into this car, that's why we want to filter up at the intersections and all that. I can understand not wanting people doing 100 miles an hour up through the middle of traffic. Well, yeah, no shit. You know, that's why there's limits to how fast you can go when you're like lane splitting and stuff. But at least lane filtering should be legal everywhere. Like filtering up to the front of an intersection so that the guy behind you with that dashboard buffet trying to drink out of his Whataburger cup and text his wife doesn't like pancake you into the car in front of you. I know you can get to the right and the left, and that doesn't always work. I got a cramp in my hip. Most of y'all ride motorcycle, you know exactly what I'm saying. Alright, let me see if I can see my comments now. Great start shooting school. Totally crazy how good the audio is. Thank you so much. I'm out here in traffic, looking around. Yep, I'm on a GoPro on a lav mic. And, well, I've got a GoPro Hero 11. And you have, one of the things that pisses me off about GoPro, you have to use their 3.5 to C adapter. If you use other ones, it doesn't work, which pisses me off. Because everything's gone to a C adapter, if you're doing audio, you need 3.5. And so I've got a lapel mic, a lav mic, run through my helmet. I've got everything else in here. Well, I got the GoPro attached to the front of my helmet. I've got the adapter on the front of my helmet, kind of on the side beside it, on the opposite side of my Cardo. And because they'll interfere with each other. And then I have the wire for the microphone run through my helmet. This was new when I got it like 2 years ago, and now it's just old school. Technology has surpassed it. And they'll Bluetooth to your Cardo, which, for those that don't know, the whole thing on the outside of our helmet, that's our phone, our radio, all that. I can put a radio on this bike, which really isn't a radio anymore, but why? I don't care if you can hear my music, you know? I want to hear my music. I've already got it in my helmet. Why am I going to spend $2,000 so that somebody can hear me blasting Metallica or something? There's no real point in that. So, but they'll interfere. So you got them on different sides of the helmet. You know, the Cardo, which is my phone and my music, is on the left side, and I've got the mic for the GoPro on the right. And to do this, like several of my friends have started doing, you have to have hotspot on your phone. And ranting is always worthwhile. Yes, I can rant. I have much frustration. But, you know that meme where everybody keeps walking up to that guy and he just like slaps one, slaps the other, slaps the other, slaps the other. You know that meme? It's like that's what needs to be done to the whole damn country. It's like, where did the common sense go? Like, knock some common sense into people. But back to the GoPro, what I've heard is the audio quality, while it would be good for most people, if you're actually moto vlogging, would not be very good. So, heard somebody had better luck with the Sena. I don't know. But it is what it is. I'm happy with the quality. Mine's not too bad, as long as I have a windscreen or something over the mic. Sometimes that goes off. But like there's some people, like Spite gets very picky. Spite's Corner, awesome channel. If you haven't checked him out, I'm probably gonna repost his latest video, which is on topic for what we were just discussing, not healthcare, the GoPro. And because he's talking about, you know, a moto vlog setup for like $400 or $500. I think it's available to the public now. I was waiting because I was going to repost it when he makes it like public, because it was on his Discord and his Patreon, like early access kind of thing. And he's got some pretty good advice in there. But he went to school for basically film and all the tech and everything involved in it. I can't remember what the actual degree he got is, but he is insanely more picky than anybody else would be. Whether we're talking about chopping noise or anything else. So if he likes something with audio, it's good. You know, Spite's Corner, great channel. Big dude, lives in Austin, curly hair. He's pretty cool. But he's got some good advice on motovlog setups. Where am I going? Alright, the neighborhood's to the left, the kinda neighborhood is to the right. Something like that. The difference between Houston drivers and drivers in most places, and I got my visor up right now, I don't know if it changed the audio or not, but the difference is Houston drivers will run you off the, well, most places they just won't even be paying attention and they'll run you off the road. Houston drivers will look you dead in the eye. If you have a problem with it, they'll fucking shoot you. This is probably one of the reasons we have at least 2 to 3 road rage shootings every week here in Houston. Yeah. If you're traveling through here, you know that thing in the center of your steering wheel? that horn. Be a good idea not to play with that too much, because there'll be somebody having a bad day and they'll want to fight, and then somebody has a gun and they're freaking morons and bad examples of gun owners. We're not all like that. Most of us don't want to hurt anyone. Just don't mess with us. But if you're going to be the asshole trying to break through my window and I'm in my car, or you're attacking me and I'm on my bike and I feel in danger, that is a completely different subject. At which point, you're not going to be worried about the American healthcare system anymore. You're going to be introduced to the American, what do you call it? I want to say death care, but the funeral industry and all their problems. So it's a whole different subject. Downtown's to the left. I got a semi here. Morbid topics. Lovely. That's Buffalo Bayou. 45 South Galveston. I need to go to the beach. And where have we found neutral today, class? On this episode of Finding Neutral. And yeah, Houston drivers are crazy. It's not as bad right now. In the evening, it gets worse. And about an hour, it'll be worse. Well, honestly, in about 30 minutes, it'll get real worse real quick. People come flying through. People go crazy. Now I'm thinking, where's my exit? Where's this? Where's that? We have cool graffiti too. We have iconic graffiti, like the Be Someone graffiti. And there's another one that had a similar message during COVID. And then they found out who she was and they charged her, like, with a crime. And it's like, why? You know, I've seen graffiti on the sides of trailers that I just wanted to put clear coat over, because it's like, whoa, that is a work of art. And then you get the BS graffiti your local meth heads like to do. That's not what I'm talking about. If you don't know the Be Someone graffiti, just Google it. Be Someone graffiti Houston. You'll see that's become iconic. I'm not on the road for that. That's on 45. Come on. I don't want to play the slow race. I don't like the slow race. I do not like the slow race. Not today. Different problems. Actually, I will get comments when people find out that I ride a motorcycle. You know, online's different because they can't see me, and I understand. Specifically from female riders talking about, you know, riding and all that, and I wish I could give them more help. But the questions they have are not issues that I face. So I can tell them what I know of, well, you can lower the suspension, you can do that, and this guy that says you can't ride that bike is full of shit. I wouldn't start off with a hugely powerful motorcycle for your first bike. You need some throttle control. You need to learn how to lift a bike. So what I end up doing is I will refer them to channels like Doodle on a Motorcycle or Whitney Does, or you know, channels like that, and they've got much better content for you that way, because I am over 6 foot. I have the opposite problems of everything is it needs to be stretched out. It's like motorcycles are made for someone who's 5'8". You know, 5'8", 160 pounds. If you're above or below that amount, you're gonna have problems, you know. It's, well, not problems, it's just you're gonna do some customizing. You're gonna put a different seat on it, you're gonna put forward controls on it, you're gonna do all kinds of stuff. You're gonna put a narrower seat, you're gonna sit closer up, you're gonna bring the bars back in, you're gonna bring the bars up, you're gonna sit back further. It's customizable kind of thing, you know. Back down to one. One is the loneliest number. Oh, traffic. You suck. And I don't want to get shot. I'm not going to piss anyone off. I'm in the wrong vehicle for that. I am too small. There's the, what do they call that? Lug nut rule. The law of greater mass. Something like that. I need to get over. I might. I need to exit up here. I ought to go through the neighborhood one night, but forgot a lot of, like during June or something. That is one thing that ain't good about this election. It's the amount of hate specifically towards anything GLBT. We're not all DEI, you know? And then DEI getting thrown around to the point, it's becoming like not, like, I can't finish that word because of YouTube, but the left would say a word every time they saw something they didn't like, and they would call it the Socialist Workers Party, if you can get my drift there. Now the right's starting to use DEI the same way. It's like, does it exist? Yes, it does. Does it need to stop? Yes, it does. You know, but just because someone's not like a white dude doing the job doesn't mean they're a DEI hire. Honestly, they should take all that stuff off an application. It shouldn't say anything about race, shouldn't say anything about religion, shouldn't, well, in most cases, shouldn't say anything about gender, any of that. It should be, can you do the job? Here's the qualifications for the job. You know, are you qualified for it? Can you do it? That's all it should be. The rest of it shouldn't be a thing. I think the next exit's gonna be my exit. Or one of the next two. It's the construction that never ends. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. We need something to bring the country together that doesn't involve a mass tragedy. Is that too much to ask for? You know? I mean, I know we love our false flags and everything else, and you got to go back to the Spanish-American War before it even gets questionable as to whether it was a false flag or not. And on that one, yeah, either that was